Hello everybody, welcome to FUTBuddies, your favorite FIFA Ultimate Team podcast as I like to call it. Today we have a special guest, FUTCrunch. Probably you know him more from Instagram or YouTube. Hello FUTCrunch, hello Jake.
How you doing,
Hello.
Florian? How you doing, Crunch?
Doing good. Just got myself a coffee. You guys get to see the thing. You'll be able to see the coffee in like HD. I'm always proud of my coffees and I always show them on my stream. So we always
Awesome. I
start like
love
that. What about you
I love
guys?
it.
How are you doing?
That's very good because today is the first day we are having a product placement with Crunch's coffee in the
Yes.
podcast. So guys, if you're watching on YouTube, of course you can listen also on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast. But if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for the support. Let's start a little bit with you, Crunch, because if some people don't know you, if maybe some people know you, but tell us a little bit about yourself, what content you're doing, and what do you like about Ultimate Team?
So I find it hard to describe my Instagram what my account is. But
Yeah.
up until a year ago, I was just an Instagram account, and then in September I started doing TikToks. I've done YouTube for quite a while, but I suck at YouTube, so never like don't search that. I'm still trying to become good at that. But I would say mainly what people look from me is my opinions on cards, like whether I think they're good or not, and sometimes that can disagree a lot with a lot of people because I'm more like I have a different approach than most because I don't have a lot of coins, so a lot of people that watch they can relate. So oftentimes I would choose cars that are quite cheap over cars that are really expensive, and people will be on two sides. Either they hate me or they love me. There's nothing in between. And then right now I started streaming about 5 months ago, and I think that's my favorite platform right now. And if you were to watch something from me, I would recommend to check on Twitch. I just play FIFA and that's it.
Yeah,
Just an average player.
as a viewer and Crunch, we've known each other for a long time. I remember when I like kind of the trading community starting to get onto Instagram. Just so everyone knows, Crunch was super kind to all of us. He said, "Let me know if you have any questions," and we did reach out because we didn't know how Instagram functioned, and there was a new application for it. I didn't even use it much personally, like for a personal account, so I wanted to get into that realm because it seemed pretty open for traders, and Crunch was super helpful during that time. But Crunch, I've seen your content grow, and I've seen kind of your approach change, and you expand to different platforms. And Crunch is just so you guys know, he's got over a few 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Jeez.
Um,
Okay.
I think he's like 100,000 plus on TikTok, and then his streams are growing rapidly. And from a viewer perspective and an outside perspective, what I really like about Crunch's content is that he's really personable, and I think just a lot of people can relate to it. You know, he's kind of just a guy that plays FIFA and he loves it and he keeps his energy really positive, and that's really hard to do with this game and this community. So I'd highly recommend checking him out on any platform, and it's good lighthearted fun, which we need in this
Hello.
community.
I think that was a really kind way to put to put me. So thanks. If I
No
ever need
problem.
anyone to sell me, I'll call Jake and I'll say, "Hey guys, I'll get Jake to do the instructions from now on." But yeah, that's true. It's just that sometimes I don't like to say numbers because a lot of people, I don't know. The numbers are crazy. Up to this point, like I don't like to talk about numbers anymore because they can you can't imagine that many people following a person. I don't know if you get me. I don't know if it has happened to you
No, I
guys. Even
agree.
it's like I can't put it into words. I can't imagine that many people. Even when it's a stream, when it's anything below, even when it's 50 people, 30 people, 20 people, imagine 20 people checking you at the same time. It's like, oh wow. But yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for the introduction.
and then you look into the bigger numbers, and we've had conversations like, sometimes my family or my friends will ask, "How many followers you have?" And I'm like, "Oh, like 77,000 or something," and they're like, "That could fill up like a whole stadium," and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
"That's really weird." Like that is really weird to imagine that many people. I don't think people view it like that when you can't obviously see each person, but it's just a lot. And Florian, you were doing content creation I think before Crunch and I, and you had a pretty big Twitter following for what it was at the time.
Yeah, and also I also started, as some people might know, TikTok in December
Hmm.
or something, and over there you can grow. I told you can grow even faster than maybe other platforms. I said, okay, you guys are on Instagram. I said to try a new platform, but yeah, I was checking. While you were talking, I was checking your numbers, your followers on Instagram. Guys, if you are listening to this podcast, you have here two of the best followings on Instagram. So FUTCrunch has 202,000 coins and 2,000
Coins,
followers.
yes.
He
Yeah,
wishes.
I was thinking at coins, so I don't know why. I was reading some of the posts. I was checking also your TikTok, and over 1,000 followers on TikTok. So that's crazy. And I follow you on TikTok. I even wrote you last days because I don't know why you didn't appear on my timeline, and I wasn't following you for some days. And I have to admit that I don't agree with you on a lot of things. Like I've seen your content and you recommend some players. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't, and I really understand what you were saying at the beginning, that some people love you, some people hate you, and I can relate to that. But
So you hate him? No, I'm just kidding. I'm
I
just
mean,
kidding.
if he hates, it's okay. I like to have conversations. I like to have open conversations. So if you disagree with some cards, it makes sense, man.
no, yeah,
So
yeah, no, I just disagree with some cards, but that's like very subjective in Ultimate Team and in FIFA and in
Yeah.
general. So you can ask on Twitter who was the best player in the Premier League this year, and some of them will say De Bruyne, some of them will say Henderson, some of them will say Mane, and so it's not very clear, or not everybody has the same answer. So yeah, I totally understand, and I really like how you're showing the players on TikTok, especially because that's the platform I'm more interested into.
So, guys, for perspective here, we've actually mentioned it a few times now, just so you have a little bit more insight. Crunch is known, guys, for playing pretty good left back and right backs as center backs in his team off
Yes.
cam, and it makes lot of people angry that he does that. Like literally, I think they're really upset about it, and that's one of those controversial things where it's like some people would say I would never ever use this card there, and then other people are like that's a good idea, I think I could use him in my team. So that's one of those examples where you're pretty much on one side or the other. You're not like, oh, it's okay. It's either you're like that's really cool, or why would you do that, that guy doesn't know anything.
I love those comments because I live like I just laugh at that hate, at that type of hate where it's like, do you know Semedo Summer Heat? Like people that are listening, more than likely they know like Semedo Summer Heat. So it wasn't my idea to use fullbacks as centre back. I don't know if you want to talk about this yet, or if there is other things
Yeah,
that we need
yeah,
to
yeah.
discuss.
Let's hit up a little bit the audience.
Okay, so you want me to tell you then, to say it then?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't start using Semedo, like even so at the start of the game, I wasn't playing the game. Okay, I wasn't playing the game because I couldn't. I had to take care of Instagram, YouTube, everything. So I didn't have enough time to do my job and then play the game and then post online.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
at first I didn't play, and all I did was based on stats. I gave my opinions. So I think in Tots time, my TikTok started to become a thing, and I think it was the quarantine happened, and everyone was telling me start streaming. So I started streaming and started playing the game, and then I started. Neil Guides? Does any of you two know Neil Guides?
Yeah, Neil Guides.
Yeah, he's huge on YouTube, and he teaches people how to use players, and he has kind of like, my approach has followed his approach, because I kind of admire him in the sense of he's good at playing the game. He doesn't go with the norm. He does his own thing, and I'm like, I like that. I really like that, and I have known him since he had like 5K on YouTube, so I've always followed his advice. Right now he has like 85,000 followers.
That's
for
awesome.
for those of you that don't know, and we have created a lot of content together. He's the first person that I saw that I started using right backs as centre back, and I saw him, and I was like, mate, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Why are you doing this? And he told me, bro, in this FIFA, this is what matters. When do you ever see a player cross the ball? And I'm like, never. When do you see a player actually having to run like pair to pair on like a strength battle? Normally what wins is pace. And I was like, fuck, you may be right. Like, he may be right. So I started using, he was using Semedo Gold as a centre back. And I started doing that, and people on my streams, they started being like, are you crazy? Why are you doing that? And I started winning games doing that, and I started telling people, do this, like Semedo Gold as a centre back is better than Lenglet. Oof, that's when oh my days, that's when everything started to roll. Like, I love that wave of everyone being like, I hate you, and then the other side be like, you're really smart. I don't know. I just like it.
And you know, in terms of a platform and I think social media, it's almost good to have that hate, or good to be known for something. I think that, you know, there's different people in this community, but there's people that are known when they, you know, when people think of a certain card or a certain country, they think of someone. There's someone on Twitter named Holy Spirit. He's kind of an OG trader, is and was a really good trader. Just doesn't care as much about social media, doesn't stream as much anymore. But nonetheless, he plays with Argentine players, and anytime an Argentina player comes out, he gets tagged by like 20 people because he plays with not your normal standard team. He loves South American players, and if a good player comes out, people think of him. And, you know, if people see a left back playing center back, they might think of, sure, you or Neil, and say like, oh, they probably watch their videos, or FUTCrunch would love that. Or it's good to have those things where people think of you, like you almost own that thing, right? You say, I play my outside backs or wing backs as center backs, and people think of you, and that's great to have, because you get more tags from it, you get good interaction, you get a different approach. And I do think that's interesting, kind of on a gameplay related note, because, and Florian, you've seen this, I've seen you actually talk about it specifically, but so many people, when a new center back SBC came out, they were like, what's his agility and balance? And if they were low, they'd write them out. But those wing backs have really high in both those categories, a lot higher than center backs. So it is interesting to think about, because you saw people rip center backs a ton for not having those numbers that the right backs and left backs do have.
Yeah. So you guys gave me a lot of ideas for the next game. Regarding what you can do in the game. Just for Crunch to have a short background on me, I'm one of the people who plays a lot the game. So I have 2,000 or 3,000 games played in Ultimate Team in FIFA 20.
Yep.
I try a lot of players, like I'm doing a lot of SBCs, and let's say I'm not so good at the game. I'm finishing, let's say, gold 1 maybe. I never finish elite, but gold 2, gold 1 I'm in the weekend league. I'm not one of the best, but I'm playing the game. So let's say moving forward, and I see in the topics this is one of the big questions. And maybe let's start with Crunch. What are your hopes for FIFA 21? And if you can start with what things you didn't like in this edition of FIFA, maybe players related, promos related, cards related, I don't know. And after that, like, what are your hopes for 21?
Okay, so I feel like my take on these things are gonna be really different from everyone else's, mainly because, like, say for example, and this is a good argument, because I'm sure both of you guys won't have this type of arguments, because for how long have you both played the game? Like, for how long have you guys played FIFA as a game?
Like 10 to 12 years.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. See, you see. So for you, it's kind of I want FIFA to go back to what it was. I want FIFA, right? That's kind of where I see all the conversations go from most people. And in my case, I started playing Ultimate Team 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago. So for me, most things and like FIFA in general, I started playing like regularly 2 years ago. So for me, it's kind of when I play this FIFA, I had fun. I don't play for anything other than fun. If I'm not having fun, I'm not playing the game. So yes, the gameplay sometimes is garbage, but it's like everything in life. Some days I have days where I have a good day. Some days I have days where I have a bad day. Most people talked about like scripting and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, I don't think they will add that on the game, or if it's gonna be on the next game, or if that's even a thing. But the main thing that I didn't like about this FIFA would be maybe a bit of inconsistency between promos. Like some promos were insane and then other promos were garbage, and then they kind of like didn't carry over how good they did a promo onto the other one. Some player selections could have been better, but at the end of the day, I guess they get better at that over time. And gameplay wise, a lot of people were complaining about the like a win. I don't know. It was like if you quit a game and you're both tying, none of both win, which is stupid. I think that that needs to change. Hopefully, in one of the next FIFAs. But at the same time, you have to think from their perspective, because I not only think from my perspective. I only want to think from FIFA's as a company's perspective. So from their perspective, I guess if you were to tie a game and someone were to quit, you could be paying someone to quit and give you the game when you tie or something like that. If you get me, it's not that easy as just giving it. Surely there is something behind that. So hopefully for FIFA 21, all I want is whatever people want to be fixed, to be fixed. I don't care. I'll play the game anyways. I enjoy the game. I'll play the game. Seriously. Like, they could give me the same game, which more than likely is what they're going to do. They will give me the same game and I'll play it again. I don't care. I just want to have fun, bro. You know, and even if the game is bad, I'll find a way to make it interesting. I'll find a way to make people that watch me enjoy what I'm doing. So from my side, just please, EA, just let me have fun. That's all I want. What about you guys?
I'll hop in here, Florian, just because I have a couple.
Yeah.
I noted a couple things that Crunch said. So Crunch, I have been in this community a bit, and I can tell you that way larger than 50% of people, I'm talking like probably 75% of people, would say that there is scripting and handicap in this game. A lot of people are, set on that that's a thing and that they believe that. Personally, I'm of the belief that it's not in the game, that EA doesn't push one particular player to win. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that would benefit them. I know that some people's argument is that they try to make it even so you feel like you're close in every game. You feel like it's a balanced game. But, EA already ranks people by skill, like in not only in FUT Champions, but in division rivals. So, in theory, you should be pretty close to your opponent already. And just so many people think it's real because you get those random bounces that deflect, that they seem to deflect to one player more than the other, or you get a goal in the 90th minute. But I think that a lot of people get pretty nervous when they see that time, and they might play a little bit different, and they might be worried or slide tackling more, doing something outside their normal play because they see those times or because they know it's the end of the game. In regards to content, speaking as someone who's seen a lot over the years, I thought this year was a really good year for content. I thought their pacing was extremely well done, because I've had the issue previously where I think there's too many 99 cards in the game too early, and almost they don't have anywhere to go. Like, I almost think they should start ratings lower. But this year, what they did to avoid that, I think, is that they added in promos that actually first was shapeshifters, which changed position, which was really exciting. It brought a lot of new meta cards onto the market, and they were used all year, right?
Oh yeah.
And then they went into FUT Birthday, which was upgraded weak foot, which is one of the biggest things in this FIFA, weak foot and skills. So they hadn't done those two promos in the past, and I thought those were really, really nice additions that kind of lengthened the cycle and changed who was meta, or at least gave you more options. Um, but then I have some of the same feelings as you do. Like I would buy FIFA 21 again right now. I mean, I already purchased it. I'll tell you that much. I
Me too.
like
Me
Same.
too.
I have the beta. I don't think the beta is anything special. I can talk more about that later if you guys want, but I'm gonna buy it because I love the grind. I like starting from ground zero. I never spend any FIFA points. I love trading. I love teaching people to trade, and I like getting a better team and playing some games with them. Even if it's not mini games, I still enjoy playing with those new players. I'm gonna get Edo and Torres as fast as possible and play some games with them because I watched them growing up. I love their cards in FIFA growing up, and they have sentimental value to me. So trying to keep things fun and positive because I am going to buy the game. There's not much EA could do that would deter me from buying a FIFA game because it's way better than PES, and I love soccer
Foot.
slash football, whatever you guys want to call it. um, Florian, what about you? What do you think? What are your hopes for it?
Actually, I agree with both of you. I don't know where is the where is the fight during this podcast, but I agree with both of you. I agree that it was one of the best years for content, probably the best year for content. Maybe one of the best again was at the beginning when people didn't really know knew Ultimate Team and content was a new thing.
Yep.
But this year we had everything, and it was also good for trading because you'll see a lot of times people complain about the content, but this is not, let's say, Crunch's idea, but other people I saw on Twitter or on other platforms that people complain about content because they don't know how to make coins in the game with what's released or what's not released from EA. So they are expecting content because players go out of packs and they trade on that and stuff like this. So when you see that the community hates the content, usually they hate it because their investments didn't go so well into making coins. But content wise, it was the best year. Gameplay wise, it had some up and downs, but you know how it is. I already made a pre-order of the next installment. I if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, I will still play it. Probably I will not play it the same in terms of number of games if it's bad, but for sure I will play it with friends. With this new co-op in Ultimate Team in Rivals, probably I will play it with my friends, and that's good enough for me.
Definitely. And something you said, Florian, regarding the trading community is a great example of that is the Winter Refresh promo. The Winter Refresh promo was kind of new this year. It changed. They didn't do a Winter Ones to Watch because it was so poor. There was really like no selection for them to do it. And
Yeah.
maybe they had planned on taking it out anyway. We can't know that. But nonetheless, they changed to Winter Refresh, which are those blue cards. You know, you have Refresh Ake, Ibrahimovic, Fernandez, players that were recently transferred within the last year. So initially, traders were extremely frustrated with that because, and Crunch, I don't know if you know this, but in the past, what would happen is EA would upgrade most cards that were having like an elite season. So like Lewandowski is an example of that. Last year, he would have for sure got an upgrade, whether a +1 or +2, who knows? But he would have guaranteed got an upgrade because he was having a great year. Um, but EA fine tuned it to, I believe, only 50 cards this year, where in the past
Yeah.
they do literally hundreds. So traders invested in some of these cards that were due an upgrade, their informs, because they'd go +2 or +3 in rating. But a lot of their cards didn't get selected, so they were extremely frustrated with it. I did advise investing in them as well, going off trends. I didn't know they'd changed it. What reason would they to have it to change it? But my point is, the refresh cards were actually really good. I mean, they were used all year. I kept an eye on them. Schultz was the best left back in the Bundesliga. Ake was one of the few Prem center backs at the time, so
Who
he
has good
was going.
agility and balance?
Yeah, yeah. So they were going up every single week, and on Thursday rewards they were really good to trade with because they were in demand. So I think if EA hadn't if we didn't know what they did previously, we wouldn't be as frustrated. And then if traders didn't lose coins, we wouldn't be as frustrated. Because looking back, I didn't mind that. I mean, if they had no winter ones to watch selection, what else are they going to do? So that was an example of the community being frustrated for losing coins, I think, Florian.
Yeah, I agree. Let's say moving to one of the next questions we have prepared actually by Jake on this episode.
Okay.
Let's go more towards. I don't know if you have any other idea here for this hopes for FIFA 21, Jake. If not, we can go to the content creation part.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd like to touch on is what you guys want to see improved in a gameplay, and I mean, like, what you want to see meta, and like for me, and I have played the beta. I put a good amount of games on there, at least 20, which is a lot for me.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I'm playing it right now to give feedback. I actually am using it for content. I posted on Instagram about it. I posted on Twitter, and then I really want to get a feel of what it's like and what can be improved. And basically, guys, on the beta, there are some huge improvements, but there are some things that feel really clunky. And I want to first say that I'm not playing with standard gold cards. We have like one of the best teams possible on the beta. I think we were like top 10 in transfer profit. So we have Messi, Aguero, Dybala, Inform Conte, Militao, whatever, Semedo. So we have a good team. And there's dribbling and pace and passing, they still feel really clunky to me. They feel different at times.
Isn't the game
players.
gonna be different though? Like, isn't the game gonna be a completely different thing than the beta?
This is a previous version, and obviously it will have changed a few times upon full release, but I think there's things that you can take away from it for sure. Like, for example, heading. Heading is way improved. The manual heading is on for everybody, which means you get no aim assist, and you can feel it. I mean, sometimes I have shot headers like diagonally because I would take that aim assist. We've had it for so long, you might not know you're using it as much as you are, but because they all went to manual, you can really feel it. But because they made it manual, I think they made heading more effective. Because we all know in FIFA 20, like you said earlier, Crunch, no one crosses. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's not really fair to rule out an important part of football because it doesn't fit the meta of the game, and it makes some of those taller players like Kane and Lewandowski worse than a faster player, and that's not really fair to those great players that are a little bit bigger, have different body types. So heading is way improved. I expect that to stay the same. You can really feel when a player has good heading attributes. Like we have Ramos, and he wins so many headers off corners and in the air. But yeah, you'll feel that the manual heading is on for a lot of us. I know I've shot things wide or diagonal that I didn't normally expect to go there because you'd get the assist to go to a certain post, usually like far or near.
Okay.
What else is there?
I have one thing that I really want to touch on, and it's something that I feel like EA really needs to change, man. It's FUT Champions. Like, I am 100% sure, and I have a really strong stand here that 30 games in 3 days is just too much, man. I feel like it has to be 20, bro. I know it was 40. It used to be 40, whatever. But bro, 30 games, like 10 games is 3 hours. If you have a life, if you have all the things to do, if you have all the things to do apart from I don't mean it in like a bad way, telling you whoever plays 30 games doesn't have a life, because I play 30 games every single weekend, okay? But I mean, it's just, I think 30 by the means of how much mentally you are affected. Like I reach in Florian's case, I know you have played a lot of games, and I understand that when you play a lot of games, after some time, you like mentally, it really drains you, right?
Oh yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
So, and there's one thing that a lot of people also struggle to reach elite because the mental, like you can't play more than 10 games in a row. You shouldn't even play more than 5 games in a row. And for them to give us 30 games in 3 days, it's kind of like overkill. I feel like it should be 20. I don't know where you guys stand here, but it's just, I think 30 it's dead.
No, I agree. I think 30 is a lot to ask of people on weekends. Um, I know that people have suggested they do a longer duration time and like five less games or keep the amount of games but longer duration. And I agree. I actually only even attempted to play one weekend league this year.
One.
And I did. I only played one and I only played like 10 games because,
Wow.
things came up. And
How many
now
did you
that we
win?
have, I think I won like three or four. I'm not a terrible player.
Let's go. Gold 3. Gold 3.
I'm not terrible. I'm not good, but I'm not terrible. And it just things come up for people on the weekends. Sometimes we both know EA server. I mean, we all know servers have problems and get complications. And yeah, it's just a lot to ask of people. I know people that have played till what, like midnight, 2 a.m. on Sunday just to get in their games because they feel forced to do so because they produce the best rewards. So
Yeah.
hopefully other game modes are more rewarding, and I agree with you. I think it's a lot to ask of people consistently. It's one thing if it's once a month where you have a big pool or something where it's like, oh, you qualify on this some tournament so you can play 20 or 30 games in this weekend once a month. But if it's every single weekend, you're talking hundreds upon hundreds of hours throughout the year.
It's just the like, say for example, in my case, I enjoy a game that I win. Period.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy a game that I lose, okay? So if I'm playing to win. And if you know what the meta is and everything, you know that in order for you to win, you need to be concentrated, not for 10 minutes, no, 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 no. For the full 90 minutes of the whole game, you have to be
totally.
there. You cannot be there for that many games straight if you want to reach high ranks. And I can see a lot of because I say this, and I not only say it from me, I say it from my chat. Like now that I'm streaming and everything, I can read people's, like, but from their messages, I can read their frustrations of, look, this is the highest rank that I can normally reach, and it's hard for me to tell them, like, you know what, you should space out your games. When it's so many games, it's like impossible for me to tell them, you know what, you should play a game and then have a 10-minute break. They are like, bro, that'll turn into freaking like a full
Yep.
day of playing,
Oh, exactly.
So that's the only thing I think. For
Florian, what do you
me,
think?
please.
Guys, I was playing the 40 games every weekend when they were 40 games, and I don't remember how I was doing
How
it.
you made it?
Yeah, cause man, that was crazy, and I don't know if you guys remember, or maybe Crunch if you're newer to Ultimate Team. There was a time when it was only Saturday and Sunday, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think there was. Yep.
So that was crazy. I don't think I played during that time, but I played. I know for sure I played all the weekends in 18, in FIFA 18, all the 40 games. This year I played all the 30 games until, I don't know, until team of the season ended. And there is a discussion here. People play for champions not to get elite or to have the wins. They play for the rewards.
Oh
Yeah.
If
yeah.
they would
Yep.
improve the rewards in other modes, we would play there. I don't want to go to any uh, Champions Cup event or play against Tex or something like this. I just want better rewards for my team.
Yep. The red picks.
So
Yep.
Well, I think
so that
as well. Like, I think the ranks also mean something to people. If I'm honest with you, like, I don't think people only play for rewards, because you'll see a lot of
yeah,
people.
some people of course they play for ranks. Of you're totally right. Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of people that say, for example, I say something when like before I ever reached elite, which for me was a big thing for me as a
Yeah.
as a content
yeah.
creator. Before I reached that, every single freaking time that I would tell someone use this card, they would be like, I know you're a gold 2 merchant, which, by the way, I do not know what merchant means, but I take it as if they are saying something bad to me, okay?
It is. It's just
And
a saying. It's just a coin phrase now in the community.
and I'm like, bro, leave people alone. If people want to reach gold 2, gold 3, silver 1, silver 2, let them be, let them be happy. So I think for people that are elite and above, I think it is like a badge that they like to wear. What were you saying? Sorry to interrupt.
No, I was gonna say, Crunch, I completely understand this, and I see it in people too, because people will write off opinions, of course, based off where you're ranked. What does this guy know? He can't win this many games. What does this guy know? He keeps losing to this. I'm better than him. How could he tell me what to do? But you see it the same exact thing in the trading community, and what's respected there is the top 100 transfer profit leaderboards. And Florian, you've probably seen this, but people are like, "Oh, how can you tell me anything if you haven't got top 100, or I know more than this person because I got top 100." Or I feel like it's a badge, like Florian, like Crunch said, a badge that people wear and said, "Oh, I got top 100, and now I know a lot about trading, and I can tell everyone about it."
Yeah.
And it's just, it obviously takes a lot more before that, and some people may even know more and may not have the time allocated, or, there's a lot more factors that go into it. But it's just funny because it's just like one of those badges that people wear.
And then the worst thing is that, oh, sorry to interrupt, just to finish off on that thought. The worst thing is that people that don't, like, say for example, like not everyone plays Ultimate Team. So there are a lot of casual players that will go online and they will see, like they will guide themselves by your ranks, surely. Like if you're a top 100 trader and I didn't know anything, I would be like, of course I want to learn from the top 100 trader. Do you think I want to learn from like someone that's not that, for example? Mm-hmm. So it also comes down to not only the community of traders and the community of people that play Ultimate Team, but also the way the people that watch that and follow that perceive the batch that we were talking about. So it's interesting.
Totally. So I think we should segue a little bit here, guys, into content creation, because we're getting deeper into the podcast, and obviously Crunch is what we would call an expert in this department. So
expert.
Crunch, do you have any inspirations inside or outside of FIFA for your content?
Everything is inspired outside of FIFA for my content.
So beautiful.
When you mean inspiration, right? When I mean inspiration, I mean as in the style of the content. I have a pretty strong claim that I have always made about the FIFA community, and it includes me. I think, and a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, and maybe you guys are gonna hate me as well for this, but I think as a community, we are one of the, at least in content creation, one of the laziest communities that there are out there. Because if you compare at least the content that the FIFA community puts out, and you see what Fortnite, you see what all those other communities put out, you can literally, like, the difference in, like, at least the content quality and the production quality behind their stuff is so high that if you literally, right now, whoever is watching, if you want to become a content creator, if today you followed a good Call of Duty, a good Fortnite content creator, and you did what they do in Fortnite, but you do it in FIFA, you will succeed 100%. Like, no, I'm not even lying. You will succeed. Because there's no one doing things like that. Like, say for example, in my case, telling people what player is good, what player is bad. No one was doing that. At least not in Instagram. And on TikTok, no one was doing that. And it's something that's so easy, and yet no one is willing to put in the time to do it, if you get me. So the inspirations I get from I see COD creators, whatever, how they edit, and I'm like, I want to use that. I want to use that from this Warzone creator. I want to use this from this Fortnite creator. I want to use this from, what other games are there? Fall Guys doesn't count, but those two. And then I also inspire myself in, like fitness. I love to see fitness and how they portray their messages, and I'm like, oh yeah. I also like the way they do their Instagram posts, or I go to business and stuff like that, and I see how they portray their stuff, and then I try and add it into my own content. I have stopped doing that, but I used to do that at the start a lot. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think until you develop a niche, it's really important to take in, what you like and what you're seeing. So, Instagram is something that puts certain things into your search bar, and you could look into it for a little bit and click on something. But what makes you click on that something? What made your eyes go there, and what made you click on it? Did you enjoy that post? And then you can kind of backwards engineer it and say, oh, I really liked that because of the colors, or I really liked that because he had a face on there, I knew who he was, or I really liked that format because he twisted, that angle or that word, and it caught my eyes. And with content creation, I think it's quite simple. Find what you like, find what's appealing to you, and it's probably appealing to other people, and what made you do certain things. And I think it's a great idea to get perspective from other games too, um, especially for general content. I mean, I'm in trading content, so it's a little more niche to FIFA, and I mean, from my knowledge, that's what I do. But what it pertains to most for me is stock and stock markets, and how do
Oh, fair enough.
yeah, and how do people promote those kind of services, and how do financial advisors promote themselves, and how do there's a lot of real sports gambling businesses that give you picks for money, and it's like, how do they promote themselves? How do they talk after a loss? What works for them? So yeah, kind of find stuff around your realm and see what you like and see how they're going about it, and take away what you like and then fit it to your niche and fit it to what style you like. And Crunch has done that really well. His page looks really formatted. You do a good job at that, Crunch. I like it.
Thanks. What about you,
I
Florian?
have an idea here, which I liked at Crunch. You are saying that we as a community are very lazy, and I have to agree with that. And not very lazy, but also we always try the easiest way to get it the easiest way. And you can see, if you guys follow Twitter, you can see on Twitter, for example, when something gets updated in the code, like in the database, and let's say a new promo is updated there, or a new card, and FUTWatch is posting that on Twitter. You'll see a lot of Twitter accounts, and big Twitter accounts, just copying, not quoting him, just talking about the new release as it would be their own news. So I think in the FIFA community we like a lot to copy things, or to make sure we take the info from somewhere. There is a very little research done. And you're right, if you're now an Ultimate Team fan or a FIFA fan and you want to start something, I think there is still a lot of room to grow in the FIFA community.
Yep.
And my point of view into the content creation, because let's say I have also, let's say, 9 to 5 job, and I don't I'm putting a lot of time and effort into FIFA, but not a lot of time in my content. Let's say I'm trying to show the people on Twitter or on TikTok what I like, how my team is, and if they have questions, that's very good. But it's more focused into the things that I like. For example, I don't know, a Man City played against Real Madrid in Champions League, and I did some TikToks about that because they are my favorite teams. So if it's like something that I like or I love, I'm gonna do a piece of content about it. If not, I'm not really doing content just for content if it's not related to that. Maybe if I would have more time, or maybe in the future for the next installment, I will try to diversify a little bit.
Yeah, and Florian, just so you guys know, Florian does TikToks, and a lot of them he just does simple pack openings, but he's accumulated quite a big following from that, and it's something people are interested in. It's people want to test their luck, and they want to see, like, oh, should I do that pack? What did he get, or what did these 5 people get? This will encourage me to do it or not do it. I feel like that's oftentimes how people debate doing certain SBCs that have a guaranteed pull.
Yeah, and just to link it here, it's exactly what I was saying. I'm playing the game, I'm opening the packs, let's say, for my team, and what does it take to film the pack opening and post it? So it's not it's also what I like, but also exactly what Crunch said. It's easy for me, so that's why I'm doing it. More complicated things I didn't try yet, but who knows?
I in those senses, like, say for example, in my case, it has been hard to do as many things as I am doing right now. Like I've had to at first, like, I think when it comes to content creation, you have to be really focused, and you need to know what you want, like what you want to achieve. You need to sit down and be like, okay, this is my objective. You don't need to put like a deadline. I don't believe in deadlines anymore. But if you have an objective, just go ahead. So in my case, I don't know if you guys want to know about this or if we have time for this, but I could tell you like how, like I started on Instagram, and then this could be something that could also work for people that are watching. This could be a plan that people could follow. So I started on Instagram, and I did it for 1 year. I think I did it for longer than I should have done it. I think I could have done it. Well, no, I think I could have transitioned to video content quicker. I think that was one of my mistakes. But I think a really smart way to go into things if you want to become a content creator right now is, if you start, I'll recommend people to not put that much time. Like say for example how you're doing it, Florian, you have a 9 to 5. So in your case, the difference is because you're playing the game, you don't have time to create content. And that's an issue. That's an issue. Most people will be having that issue, the same one that you're having. And the thing that makes things hard is that people follow you for your content. A lot of people won't even follow you for specifically the fact that you have played a lot of games. I don't know if you...
Yeah.
So say in my case, I wasn't playing the game when I started on Instagram, but I was only putting my opinions out there. So I was getting better at sharing my opinion in a way that people were willing to read, willing to like, willing to share. And then from then, when I had enough time, I started editing with like templates, editing ahead on schedule, not having to edit the same day. I went into TikTok, which is what I will advise everyone to do going into anything that requires a video will help you a lot. Like an image does not say enough about you for people to care about you. The people only care about my opinion. They didn't care about me as a person. As soon as you put your face and you speak, in that moment, people start to like kind of resonate with you. So I'd say then you can go into TikTok. And then after that, if people ask for it enough, you can start streaming. And that's where, if people want to start doing things full time, I think in my realms, not in the trading realms, it's just going to streaming, and you, if you have a decent enough following, you will make money there and you'll be able to do things full time. In trading, I know you can set a Patreon. I know it takes time, but you can skip one of the steps. You can skip the videos and just to set the Patreon if you're into trading and do things full time.
Definitely. And I think, Crunch, you said a lot of good stuff there, and I think Florian agreed with you. But one thing that I'll reiterate, guys, is if you are new to FIFA content, you can make it. You have to be consistent. I think that a lot of times that laziness that we talked about, guys, comes from people, being frustrated with the game or being annoyed or just not wanting to dedicate that much time to it because they're frustrated with FIFA. But if you truly enjoy it, guys, and you're consistent, like the FIFA streamer pool, for example, is so small compared to other games. Like if you are streaming consistently in FIFA, and you present good information and content and a good atmosphere to your viewers, I really think you'll make it. So just be consistent in the times you're streaming and what you want to do and get done on streams. But there is so few streamers in FIFA compared to other games that it gives you a lot of potential. And I think, Crunch, what you said is great there too. Like right now, guys, put your face out there. I mean, it's kind of daring to do. Yeah, you'll probably get some backlash. People might find ways to make jokes and things because that's what the internet is like nowadays. People hide behind accounts and troll you and spend time wasting. But remember that no successful people, guys, are spending hours on their internet trolling others. I mean, they're literally at home bored and probably kids. So just know that those people aren't gonna find success and aren't successful themselves. But be daring. Put yourself out there. Let people get to know you. I know that on my Twitter, I don't have the largest audience, but I have an active audience and an engaged one, and that I like to spend time interacting with them when I can. And Twitter is a good platform for that. And I post pictures of my daughter, and I post pictures of our dogs. And some people don't do that, and some people may not even like that. Some people may not be there to see it. But, social media is all about being social, so I don't want that aspect to be taken away.
I think it also it depends, like the social media strategies also really depend on the person, like on what you really want to achieve. Like say for example in your case, you could just not care about numbers. Like you're like, I don't care about numbers as long as I am enjoying what I'm doing. I think a lot of people get carried away by numbers, and it's something that happened to me early, even though I'm still early in my in my social media career. But it happened earlier in my social media career where I really cared about how many likes I was getting. I really cared about how many followers I was getting. This is a funny story. You know the Instagram account called @FUT.ism.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the guy, so I was like, I am the king of Instagram. At least the king of player reviews on Instagram. I'm the king. No one is gonna take over me. If someone does, I'm gonna absolutely destroy them. I don't care. And this guy comes in, man, and I swear he doesn't sleep. I swear to God. Like, how can you put that much good content consistently? Like, his content is so. I know my content is good, but in his case, it's another level above. So I used to watch his stuff, and I used to be like, bro, this guy's gonna surpass me. And I spoke to him, like, it's not like I ever had beef with him or anything, but I spoke with him, and he's just to give it a perspective, guy. If you care about numbers, I was on 140k, and he was heading into FIFA 20. I was on like 120k, sorry, and he was on 1,000 followers, and in the whole FIFA 20 run, at some point I reached 200,000 and he reached 230,000 by then. So he outgrew me hard, and throughout the whole growing process, I grew sad because I was like, bro, how can he win? How can he? And my content, the times I was trying to catch up to him, it was worse than the times I was like, you know what? I don't care. Seriously, if he does well, I'm happy for him. So since I changed that mindset of I need to grow faster than others. If someone grows faster than me, I'm not good enough. Since I changed to a mindset of, you know what, I will enjoy what I'm doing. And if people want to watch, they watch. I've had a bigger growth, more people enjoying what I do than ever before. So that's a little tip for everyone that's watching, everyone that's listening.
And Florian, I think we could take that back to Twitter really easily right now, especially with the culture that I'm seeing and the change. And Florian, you've been there longer than I have. Do you want to talk about what you've seen on Twitter and how that's changed dynamically, where people are caring a lot about numbers and how that change has evolved?
Yeah, but I have only bad words to say here, and I don't really want to go there.
Sure. I'll touch on it for a second, just because Florian's been in longer than me. Florian's been in longer than me. That's why I asked him. But guys, from what I've seen, and I've made this mistake too, like Crunch was saying, I've been caring about numbers, and it can negatively impact your content. And I was getting frustrated because, I consider myself a pretty busy person. I have other jobs. We have a family. We have dogs. We own our house. And when I'm dedicating time to social media to try to help people trade, it's just free time. It's just free time I'm allocating to try to help an audience because I'm passionate about it and because I want them to go away from FIFA points and want them to get their dream team. And I put out a guide, and this guide would get like maybe 5 likes. But the tweet before it, I would tweet something that says something along the lines of, retweet this if you want a guide. And it would have hundreds. And then I put out the actual guide, and it did like nothing. And I'm like, what? Like this, you guys don't care for this? I won't make it then. But last week I got an email, which is you can email people through an Instagram link. So I got an email from someone and he just said like, hey man, I've been spending thousands of dollars on FIFA points. I'm really looking for your help. And it was a really good, gentle reminder that even if you're helping one person, it's meaningful and it's impactful. And that's where your focus needs to be, on the people that care. It's not about expanding your audience to thousands, but having a really small pool of people who actually care. Right now on Twitter, all you're seeing, Crunch, I'm not sure if you're active there much, but all you're seeing is giveaways. Literally. FIFA21 giveaway, $5 giveaway. I'm seeing $5 giveaways. We're like,
oh my days!
Who
wants a free copy of FIFA? How many retweets for a copy of FIFA?
Yeah, totally.
What are you talking about, lad? I barely have money to pay for my own stuff, and I'm gonna give away a FIFA.
and the funny thing is, like, giveaways are cool if you really you know, it can be mutual, but some people are doing giveaways obviously just to help themselves. And you can see it. And it's just, to me, it's really ironic and it defeats the whole purpose where people are like, $5 giveaway, got to get to 1,000 retweets. It's like, all right, you're going to monetize thousands of people following you more than $5.
But honestly, like, how many of those people will keep following them though?
Right.
That's where that's the thing. I'm never, okay, you won't believe this, but I have never done a giveaway. I've done one giveaway and I did it on my stories.
Yeah.
And it was to promote something. That's it. I've never done a giveaway. I don't think you need giveaways. I hate giveaways. I get people telling me to do a giveaway at least once every week, and it's like, I mean, I know more than likely either of both of you have done giveaways, and I have nothing against people that do giveaways. It's just in my case, it's like, dude, you're gonna get fake followers. You're better off spending that money in content. Like, I am content creation first, everything else second, third, fourth.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
like, you're gonna get. You know Hasib. Do you guys know who Hasib is? He's on. He's a FIFA pro. He retired from being a FIFA pro. Florian, do you know who Hasib is, or do you know? He come to me. He wanted to start on Instagram, and he came to me and he sent me a DM, and he was like, "Hey, I want to start. I want to do a FIFA giveaway. Are you down?" And I was like, "No," and he was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Bro." Because you texted me, you sent me an email, you sent me a tweet, and you sent me a DM on Instagram. I can see that you're keen, so I want to help you. Let's create content together, I told him. And he was like, no. You know, he was like, give me time to think. And I was like, bro, it's going to give you a lot more creating content than it will give you to do a giveaway. And after, I think it was a week, he replied, and we started creating content together about how pros use players, because he's a pro and he knows how to use players, and I am no pro, so I don't know how to use players. So he was the one giving me the content, and he grew, I don't know how many followers he will have now, but he at least grew 30,000 or 20,000 followers in the span of like 3 months, 4 or 5 months. Because he took the route. I mean, you could also argue that blah, 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 have a big following, blah, 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 that could also help. But at the end of the day, he was posting on his own as well. Without me, more than likely, he would have gotten those impressions. Maybe half of what he got. But spending that time into content creation helped him a ton more. So for anyone watching, please.
Totally.
No giveaways.
Guys, I have 3 topics left.
Yes.
So, because let's say we really like the conversation and we are going into very much details. Guys, for sure we will have Crunch back again during the podcast, because I see he has also a lot of ideas, and those are good. 3 topics. First topic, you gave me a very good idea on how we can create content together on TikTok. When you see a player that you don't like, just hit me up, and probably I will love that player, and we can do
really?
We can argue about it.
What's your favorite player? Jeez.
We can do a side-to-side comparison.
Do you like Salah? Do you like Salah, Tots?
No.
Okay, great then. Okay. I can create content with you.
That was first thought. Second, so the last 2 topics which I have, maybe we can talk about other things also. One thing is, tell us a little bit on I know you don't have a lot of coins in FIFA. Tell us a little bit about your ways to get coins, and maybe Jake can give you also some advice here. And second topic would be a little bit of a discussion about Lionel Messi, but we'll keep that for later.
Sure.
How do I make coins?
So, yeah, because you told us, I don't know if it was before the recording or during the recording, that you don't have a lot of coins and you use, let's say, cheaper players in Ultimate Team. So what's like your strategy into coin making? You don't need to have one, but tell us a little bit on how you think about it, and we'll let you know what
I have a different approach. I only complete players that I want. I never use my fodder for stupid things. Like, you would see most people will be like, "Oh yeah, I just saw this player that has like is the worst player in the game." David Silva. Okay, maybe one of you guys like it, and you're gonna hate me for this, but David Silva.
No, I hate his card.
Garbage.
Oh my days, that card, bro. Everyone and their moms was telling me, "Crunch, should I complete this card? Crunch, I literally said, mate, you're better off using anyone that has over a 4-star week than him." And you can see people completing these cards that are like 300, 400k for like no reason whatsoever. They are bad. You use them, you realize they are bad. Don't complete cards that are bad because you waste coins. If you play the game all year, you will have coins. In my case, what I did was I just joined a Patreon and swerved that. I just said, you know what? I joined a Patreon. You know Mitch. You guys know Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, Mitch.
Yeah. We have a good opinion about Mitch, so it's okay. You can.
Who can hate Mitch? Right. I was like, bro, can I join your Patreon? He was like, yeah, cool. I paid the thing, whatever. And then I joined his Patreon. And since then, I just, whatever, I see something that I like, I invest. And then I go on my TikTok and I say like, hey guys, I invested in this after whoever invested, or I'm not telling people like, oh, I joined this phrasing to tell people what to invest on. No. I'm like, guys, I put 1 million coins into whatever. Don't do it, because more than likely I will lose coins, but I did this and that's it. So I use it as content. I invest sometimes. Now I'm too lazy. It takes too long to invest, man. To sell, especially a lot of cards. It takes a lot of time. I don't like that.
So you would do bigger investments, basically.
Yeah, I would just spend like 1 million coins on like fodder. I just invest on fodder and then sell whenever it's needed. And it's better for me as well, because whatever the profits are, I spend them on packs, and I do that on Twitch. Totally. So what I advise everyone is just don't spend stupid coins. If you have 1 million coins, why would you use 1 million coins on your team? Like, you can clearly tell that over time your players will lose value. Every single one of your players over time loses value because new players come out. So don't make big investments in big purchases if you don't have the coins to back that up. Because you see people, they buy Salah 2 months ago, and then today they are like, oh bro, he went down 500k. What do I do? Cry? What else can you do? Exactly. I don't know about you, Jake. I guess you have a different.
So guys, just so you know, a disclaimer here. Jake has a trading Patreon, and I'm in a way affiliated to that. So so if you guys want a Patreon, go to Jake.
But I'm a huge fan of Mitch and Doug put out awesome work. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Crunch, and you see the different variety of investments that they put out. So, yeah, I think that's a great thing. And guys, especially for content creators, having coins is extremely important. Like Crunch said, it allows you to complete SBCs that people want feedback on. It allows you to do guaranteed SBCs, which are really great for viewership. I mean, it's amazing for numbers there. So yeah, having coins is really important. And there's so many different ways to trade, but I think that honestly, Crunch's approach fits, and his dynamics of it fit the casual players extremely well. Don't spend as much on SBCs. So many people have, 10 plus super sub SBCs that they completed before the end of the year, which cost them 500k plus or $1 million. People do 2 or 3 rounds of a icon pack when it comes out. There's 1 million coins down, and at that point you could buy most of the icons you would have wanted anyway. Those are just some examples where people expend so much that they don't realize how much they're putting into untradables that they'll never see back. And then in terms of investing, those investments are awesome if you're new to the market. Basically, you can look to identify certain ratings of fodder in certain positions where they get to certain prices, and you say, okay, I know that they're going to go up from here. I don't know exactly when they will, but I'm willing to hold them for a week or maybe at max 2 weeks, and I could double what I put in. And who doesn't want to do that, right? If you do that 3 to 5 times throughout the year, you could be looking at a pretty hefty coin total there. So there might be different trading that is more optimal, and I could tell you that Thursday flipping and day trading is more functional, and it will get you more coins. But sometimes it's about the simplicity component of, I don't want to think, I'll just go buy these cards and hold them for a week. And that works well for people too.
The best part is that you can flex your profits as well. I would say that's the most I get the most enjoyment for telling people, I was able to make this many coins. I don't know.
Totally.
Most people, surely whoever is watching, bro, if you have never made coins, you don't understand how good it feels to
Exactly.
your player that was 1K became 8K. You feel like you are freaking, I don't know, the Wolf of Wall Street as soon as that happens. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, and it's so fun. And for myself, obviously, and since I run a trading group and that's what my content is based around, when I make those huge profits, it equals numbers to me. It's followers, it's people that interact with me, it's people that are interested. Because I actually have a post made up for later. I remember when Scream Adama came out, I bought like 18 of them, and this is in like early October. And I remember Mad HD Gamer was like, "Does anyone have a Dama? Like, I really want to play with him." And he was extinct on the market. And I sent him a picture that I had like 20 of them, and he was like, and it got a ton of interaction, and people were joking about. And he's like, "Sell me one, man." And and I made like 1 million coins in 2 or 3 hours just flipping those cards. And I just remember the interactions were crazy with it. So not only does it feel good, but then when other people see what you can do and how many coins you can make, and sometimes how quickly or the simplicity of it, it gets people extremely interested in trading. Because that's why trading content does so well, is because everyone wants more coins. I don't know one person that would say they want are happy with their coin total or don't want more. So it's good.
And another idea here, and I think someone should make a trading guide on how to make coins by not losing coins. Because
Jeez, impossible.
you said one thing. You said that don't do all the SBCs, or don't do stupid SBCs, or players that you're gonna do and never use, and that's one thing. And second thing, and this is not something you know, but you can expect, or you can find out if you're watching, if you're looking on Twitter, or maybe some, let's say, some traders with high following, or maybe if you're in a Patreon. And what's that? It's the when is the next promo coming? What's getting
Yep.
released next? Because you'll see that maybe you have a good defender, you have Van Dijk in form, Van Dijk, and in the next days there are three center backs released, and his price goes down very very much. So
Exactly.
one thing would be to be, let's say, more
Aware.
liquid, aware about these things, and to have a lot of coins liquid, and not have a lot of coins invested in players that could drop in price in during certain promos.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my second topic, let's say, because it's the news of the week or of the year, I don't know how it will be.
The
What do you
century.
think about? Yeah, I think the news of the century would be would be when the vaccine for this pandemic will come out.
No, Messi. I'm sorry, bro, but Messi.
What do you think, guys? Is he leaving or not?
I
He's
think,
leaving.
yeah, I think he's leaving. I think that he's really frustrated with how they've progressed over his last maybe even like 3 to 5 years there. And I just think that I think it's good. I think it's almost in a way, in this particular instance, better for his legacy too, if he goes somewhere else and performs really well. Because that's the one knock that a lot of people have on Messi, is that he's always played for Barca. He's always had great players around him. You know, I remember when Xavi and Iniesta were playing, people were like, "Oh yeah, I mean anyone could score goals if you're playing with those two midfielders." And although not true to not true, I mean, obviously it helps, right? When you have two of the best passing midfielders of all time. Um, so I think that if he goes somewhere, and it looks like it will be City, I mean, it looks like the reports are indicating that he wants to go there. I
Yeah.
think that's gonna, and if he plays well, I think that's just going to enhance his legacy. If they win something, if they win titles or Champions League with him there, and he performs well these last few years, I think it's just gonna enhance his legacy.
in my case, I'm here for a laugh, right? I like to watch football to like enjoy. So
Yeah.
in my case, I would be really happy because I'm a Madrid fan, okay? So I'm a bit
Ooh.
biased. So I'm a bit biased, right? So I am really happy with Messi leaving because I like the fact that Barcelona will be on the mall, first of all. And
Yeah.
second of all, I am really happy that Messi gets to be on City because it could go two ways. Like I think there is no in between. Either he wins something and he becomes more renownedly the best player of all time, which
Exactly.
I'm not that happy about. But well, I like football, so I'll take that. I'll take that out. Or he doesn't win the Champions League. Say for example, they go to semifinals, where is where you would expect players like Cristiano, who has done it, to help their team go forward. You would expect Messi to be the guy that gets their team to go forward. And if they don't win anything on the years he stays on that team, if they don't win a Champions League, that's what I would say. Because a Premier League, yes, good title, but what you care about is international titles at the end of the day. Let's be honest. It will be bad for his legacy. It will be really bad if he actually doesn't manage to achieve that, because it will give people, their haters, it will give the haters more fuel, if you get me. They will be like, yeah, he was great in Barca, but it was actually indeed thanks to Iniesta and Xavi, because you can see that in City, where he didn't have them, it wasn't the same. So, well, then people could say about his age, right? Because how old is he now? 34?
33, I think. Yeah.
33, Jesus Christ. So,
yeah, and people are like the Premier League's more physical. He can't handle that, and it's just. I mean, he's
We'll
obviously
see.
played some over the years in the Champions League, but yeah, it's just there's so many outstanding arguments against him being great due to his teams and the league he's in, and I think this would end a lot. So I'd personally be really excited to see him leave. I think whatever team signs him, it doesn't really matter what they pay because of the jersey sales he'll bring. I don't think it matters.
They
so.
won't pay anything, I think, because of the free release clause. Even though they
Yeah, he has
said
the
that,
Messi clause.
even though I heard that clause was supposed to finish in June.
Oh.
So apparently the clause already, like he should have already redeemed it by June. If not, it wasn't gonna be valid. There's so many things going around, to be honest. But that I read it from like a reliable source. So we are all on the same page. No one knows what's gonna happen, guys.
Yep. And guys, from a FIFA perspective, we can all hope that he leaves because we'll have him as a ones to watch.
Ooh,
some of us
I
have
didn't
the
think
pre-order
about
packs.
that. I have the pre-order packs as well.
Guys, I think that's where we should end this podcast. I
Yeah.
think we've been going a good amount of time, covered a lot of our topics. I would just like to thank FUTCrunch for joining us today and talking to us about his social media journey and what he's seen over the years and what's worked for him and how it can help you guys. So hopefully if you're listening and you're into content creation, you took some inspiration from him and his views on things. And just remember to focus on your audience and hone in on that growth.
I hope
And
that
for sure, guys, for sure, if he agrees and he doesn't grow too much in following and forgets about us,
Come on.
we will invite him back for FIFA 21
Definitely.
after the release to see his first opinions about the players he doesn't use.
Exactly.
specifically the ones I don't use. Well, thank you guys for allowing me to come in. I had a good chat. Definitely there was more things that we could touch on in another time, so I'm more than willing to come back. No matter the numbers, more than likely. Like, I don't mind. But yeah, if anyone wants to check content, check either Jake or Florian. If you guys want to have a laugh, check mine. But my stuff is not. If you are gonna follow me, just follow me because you want to have fun. Like, seriously, don't follow me because you really want to learn who the best player is. Because more than likely, either my opinion is gonna be wrong or you're not gonna agree. So follow either Jake or Florian. And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Later, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again for following and take care.